Let's go. Made it to the weekend and the Dallas game is right around the corner. But what did Fletcher Cox surprisingly admit about the defense? Plus, Tyler Steen is starting at right guard. So how does Jason Kelce believe that will help the running game? And the reason Sean Desai's defense is about to bring it. But first, let's run it. Alright, what's up guys? So with the holidays right around the corner, the Eagles have officially started taking pre-orders since Jason Kelce, Lane Johnson, and Jordan Mailata are releasing their second album, a Philly Special Christmas Special, featuring several holiday favorites. I mean, they're all talented, but Mailata is just insane. But my favorite part is that the proceeds will be donated to the Children's Crisis Treatment Center and Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, which, by the way, I've got a link in the description if you want to go ahead and pre-order. However, despite spreading Christmas cheer, there's one thing that we can all agree on.
Merry Christmas, Philadelphia.
And a Happy New Year.
Except you, Dallas.
Come on, I don't have to explain to you that the hate is justified. And one of my favorite examples is like Joe Giglio shared. We had a caller ranting about how much he hated the Cowboys, then a siren went off. Turns out the caller was a police officer in the middle of pulling someone over.
America!
That's just amazing, although one player is about to get his taste of the rivalry, and looking like he'll get his first start with rookie right guard Tyler Steen seen at practice with the first team, getting reps and coaching from O-line coach Jeff Stoutland. So despite Cam Jurgens looking like he's really close to be ready to go, a team source suggested that Main Steen will get the start next to Jason Kelce and Lane Johnson against Dallas. That coming on top of multiple reports from beat writers that the 23-year-old will get the nod. And Steen's confident that he's more than prepared, saying he's made strides in understanding the offense and techniques better. Also, according to Jordan Mailata, Steen's taking a lot of from Stoutland, but honestly, that's probably what's made him improve so quickly. Since remember, Stout wasn't feeling as confident in the former Crimson Tide left tackle at the beginning of the season, with Tyler being inactive for the first 4 weeks before only getting in 13 snaps over the next 3 games on special teams. Until, of course, backup guard Sue Opeta injured his hip against Washington and was forced to go out for 6 plays, throwing Steen into action and playing really well as he went up against Pro Bowlers Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. And sure, I understand that's a really small sample size. However, let's also not forget that Lane Johnson's been talking up the rook for quite some time.
First thing I saw was looking at right away was his foot quickness. I think you can see that left tackle, his footwork, in full display at practice. So I feel like obviously it's different from tackle to guard, a lot more space at tackle. So he's going to have to learn that game, getting inside and, being in a phone booth. But yeah, man, he has all the traits to be a great player. When you look at him on the hoof, that's where it starts. And then character-wise, smart as attack. Very humble guy, doesn't say a whole lot, but, as he develops, as the confidence develops, I can see him be a great player in a very short time.
All right, not really a surprise, but if Pave the Lane's impressed with someone, I think that's all you need to say. Plus, the guy on the other side of him has also been really impressed.
Mentally, he's a really smart kid. He's made a lot of progress since he's been here. He's a guy that's had to acclimate to a new position, having played tackle. He's been coming. We've seen him getting better and better out on the practice field. His stock's been on the rise the last few weeks. So he's got a lot of interesting traits, man. He's an athletic kid, has great feet, really good twitchiness to him, and operates in space well. Having played tackle, I think that's one of the things that is nice when you slide a guy inside. I like his mentality. He's just kind of, not a lot of frills, man. Not a lot of, excuses. Or there's so many people and players, there's I thought it was this, and I think that he's very much just to take coaching, and he just continues to bank things, learn, get better, improve. He's done a good job.
Look, I'm ready to see it, and I think we all remember the numerous headlines over the offseason saying it'll be Steen over Jurgens, so the hype was certainly real, but fortunately he's had enough time to learn and develop before getting slotted in. But like I say, I'm with Mailata, who said I'm excited for him to show the world his athleticism. The dude is crazy, crazy athletic.
Oh, geez, look at the butt on that. Yeah. He must work out.
All right, well, yeah, Steen does definitely boast one of the most dominant athletic scores from the NFL Combine, and is certainly more athletic than Sue Opeta, like I've talked about previously, who's been fine in pass protection, but much less than ideal in the running game. But with Sexy Batman suggesting the Eagles are one piece away from getting the dominant rushing attack back, the question is, could it be this week? What do you guys think? Personally, I feel like the Birds will be able to get the ground game going with a mixture of DeAndre Swift and perhaps a little Kenny G, since that seems like the most realistic option based on the coaching staff's comments. Although I'll hold to wanting to see Rashaad Penny, especially with the officially injury report listing Boston Scott as out for Sunday due to personal reasons. So hopefully everything's okay with Boston, but I'd love to see Penny get a few carries. At least we don't have to worry as much about the pass protection, or do we? Since Pro Football Focus shared Philadelphia's offensive line has allowed more pressures than any other team over the last 3 weeks, and ranking 28th in pass blocking efficiency over the same period, saying, in particular, left guard Landon Dickerson has struggled, letting up a career-high 8 pressures against Washington, and on the season, Dickerson has given up 23 pressures after surrendering just 19 in 2022. Okay, yeah, that's not good, but I guess my question is, how much of that is on the play calling? For example, Jalen's been given the 3rd longest time to throw in the pocket this season, so could be the play calling for making him stand in the pocket and eventually generating a pressure. Although sure, Landon's gotta be better, but if the O-line is focusing more on helping Sua Opeta and Tyler Steen these past couple weeks, then perhaps Dickerson being left on an island has affected his pass pro a bit. It obviously hasn't affected Jalen too much though, since QB1 has the 2nd best passer rating over a 2-game span in his career. But I don't think taking a long time for passing plays to develop against Dallas is really the best plan. Because whether you want to admit it or not, Micah Parsons is good, really good, and his pass rush win rate ranks as one of the fastest in the league. Yet you might be thinking, come on man, we've got Micah's daddy and Lane Johnson, so we're fine. Except Dallas is getting a little more creative with number 11 this season. Like Fran Duffy shared, in years past, the majority of Parsons' rushes have come against the opposing right tackle. So far this year, however, he has lined up far more across the rest of the formation than he has previously. So this is not just a Lane Johnson versus Micah Parsons matchup this week. The entire offensive line has to be prepared to see number 11 on any snap, which is why it's a no-brainer to me that we're going to see Micah Parsons line up against Steen at least a couple times. But the 6'6", 322-pound guard isn't too concerned, saying he trusts the coaching staff and offensive game plan that starts with Brian Johnson.
For us, with that matchup, you know, it's obviously going to be something that is heavily discussed in our offensive staff room of ways to try to put our guys in a position to have success. Because when you have a great player like Micah is, and you play against that guy multiple times throughout the course of the year, there becomes like a sense of familiarity. And, I think there's always an exciting challenge to when you go against elite players, and our guys will be ready for that challenge.
Well, there may not be as much familiarity with Steen, but I'm excited to see the matchup. I should also point out that Dallas leads the NFL in stunt percentage at 38% through 8 weeks, while also being extremely effective when doing so. Meaning Stout's got his work cut out for him, but come on, there's a reason why he's the best in the biz, so we'll be fine. But I am expecting it to be a pretty close game, as most of these rivalries are. Especially with it being just the 2nd time Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott have played each other. Kind of hard to believe, I know, but with injuries and playoff implications, the two just haven't seen each other hardly at all. Of course, yes, I'm sure we've all heard Cowboys fans bragging about how Dak owns Jalen and the Eagles with his 8-3 record. Heck, even Dak poked the bear this week saying, "Pour honey on me." Yet as we all know, and I've mentioned before, we have Dak's nemesis in Kevin Byard now, who certainly has Prescott's number with 3 INTs in just 2 games, which is really what I think it comes down to in the turnover game and taking care of the ball. Something Sirianni can't stress enough.
Just play clean football. Just play clean football. That's our football IQ. Coaches and players' football IQ. That's our fundamentals. That's our detail. And so that's been the message, because when you play a good team like we're about to play, then you better make sure you're playing clean ball.
I think we can play clean, but let's be honest, we haven't seen it more than once this season, with the Week 4 matchup against Washington being the only 100% clean game we've played. And on the flip side, the Philly D hasn't been as opportunistic creating turnovers, with just 2 takeaways over the last 5 games, leaving Captain Fletcher Cox to offer a surprising admission halfway through the season.
To be honest with you, I still don't think as a defense we found our identity. I think we're still kind of searching for it. And, we're still finding ways to win the game is the biggest part about it right now. We're finding ways to slow offenses down on what they like to do in certain parts of the game and, during the season. But I think, we're still finding that identity. And in a couple weeks, we'll kind of figure out who we are, because we got some, we got Sundays is a good game for us. And, so we're looking forward to that.
I mean, he's not wrong. The defense has been incredible at times, and then others just lacking that killer instinct. Of course, it's worth pointing out that Sunday will mark the first time all season that the Eagles will have the same secondary group for 2 consecutive games. Okay, that's hard to believe, quite honestly, and I think it's understandable that you're trying to still figure out yourself without the same core week to week. But as defensive coordinator Sean Desai has spoken about recently, once the guys can get that continuity, he believes we'll start seeing an identity that he envisioned all along.
There's a certain mentality that we want to reflect. And I really believe in the city's teams got to reflect the city. And we've got some grit. We've got some toughness. We want to be able to impose our will. We're not going to take really anything from anybody. We want to be able to run. We want to be able to hit. And we want to play smart. We want to be able to be felt, whether you're watching us on TV whether you're in the stadium and obviously on the field. We want to make sure people feel this Philadelphia Eagles defense.
Now, obviously, it's about showing me, not telling me, and as great as that may sound, the Cowboys receivers have actually been laughing at the Birds secondary in team meetings, according to the always accurate and ever reliable Dan Cilio of Jacob Sports.
I'm sorry, I was trying to impress you. I don't know what it means.
I mean, this dude, just whatever. I did want to note, as Daniel shared, that the defense has definitely been much better versus non-Eric Bieniemy teams this season, only allowing 17.2 points per game, which would be good enough for 5th best in the league if you want to take out those 2 games. But whether you buy into that or not, the Cowboys are apparently sweating the idea of playing against Jalen Carter, which certainly seems a lot more believable considering the fact that the bread man leads all interior linemen in pass rushing grade. Somehow this dude's a rookie and drafted at number 9 overall. Speaking of 9 though, it's time for the week 9 picks, where I went a measly 1-2 last week, so not too great, but we're gonna bounce back this week. And look, if you haven't tried out BetMGM yet, you need to, because you're literally getting free money when you sign up through the link in the description, since your first entry is guaranteed to win, or you'll get back up to $1,500. But alright, enough of the shameless plug. This week I'm gonna go with Green Bay at Lambeau laying 3 points to the Rams, and I'll also take Kansas City -1.5 against Miami. And then for my last pick, give me the under 47 in the game against Dallas. Good luck to anyone telling, and let me know if you have better picks. Reminder that we'll be live streaming the Philly game while also giving away a signed AJ Brown mini helmet, so come on, would love to have anyone and everyone interested to swing by for the best, not that I'm biased, watch party on YouTube. Okay, let's hear those score predictions for Dallas. I'm saying it's a monster game for Dallas. Goddard, that is, with the Eagles winning 24-20. This has been the Philly Special.